So in this design process, the first stage is you must understand what is domain of your product area, where you are designing something. Understand user, convert your observation into design insights, use those design insights to create multiple of ideas. Okay? So this module deals with the creating multiple ideas, and let's start looking at how we can do this divergent thinking. Divergent means it will create multiple answers for the same area or same problem. So we always use the word innovation and creativity. Are they synonymous? Are they same? What do you think? Are they same? Not necessarily. It's like a political answer. What is difference?
Like one innovative solution can be done in multiple creative ways. Like you can keep doing it you can approach it in multiple ways. Even if that like innovation could be like I invent a certain mechanism, so that is an innovation. But how I utilize it can be in multiple ways. So that can be my creativity, how I put it to use.
But it is a user's creativity then. User can use the bottle in different way. Okay, so that comes to his part, how he is going to use the bottle or whatever product. No? But I'm talking about at the initial stage, okay, when you are approaching a design problem solving. We say creativity and innovation. Are they same? That's my basic question. They are not same. Okay? The difference is, according to Carl Bishop, there are many people have tried to define this. Okay? Creativity is a thinking process. Process happening in our grey matter. And innovation is the outcome of that. I use the term divergent thinking. Divergent thinking leads to multiple ideas. Okay, but those multiple ideas are not innovation. They are ideas. Okay, you have to create many ideas, select few, develop it into concept, and concepts are to be converted into products. That is called as a innovation. So in short, you can say that the creativity is an invisible process. No? What's happening in my brain is not visible to you. Am I right? But it is not visible, it is not tangible. But the innovation, the process of converting ideas, writing it down and selecting and sketching, converting them into concept and making a product out of that is innovation. It becomes tangible, it becomes visible. I can touch with. No? I can touch my brain inside and see. No? There are of course various methods to do cognitive research, how brain works and all that, but it is still a mystery. Okay, we have not understood 100% how brain works. Okay, and once we know that, it will help us to create artificial intelligence more effectively. Okay, but still we have learned brain and the brain power, brain processes in a very limited manner. Okay, so creativity is a process, innovation is the outcome, in short. Right? Anybody has any question or point to argue? Agree with? Enough research is done on the left brain and the right brain. Everybody is given two parts. Okay? And this is like a parallel assembly which I mentioned in biomimetics talk. If one portion stops functioning, other portion can support the whole body. Okay? But different faculties, different power or fortes of this left and right brain. It is said that the left brain is more analytical, rational, and objective and subjective, and okay. Right brain is more poetic, expression, colors, paintings, artistic expression, creativity are major domain for right brain. Now, if you just give keyword creativity processes, there are numerable, must be hundreds of pages on the Google search. So many people have worked in these areas, and all these are techniques which can help you to become more creative. If you look at everybody is born with the left and right brain. Everybody has to both the sides. Okay? But during our training, education and whatever, okay, somehow we suppress the power of right brain. That is what is taught in my education. You know the story of Eureka by Archimedes, of Archimedes? But many times we just remember that he started walking or running naked. Okay? That story is like a running naked. But he shouted Eureka when he immersed himself in bath, and how he solved a fantastic problem. Nobody remembers. So we are taught not to shout Eureka. In education, everywhere, okay, we are encouraged to work in a safe zone, not explore other area. Don't take risk. Always it is said, do whatever you can do, but don't try to jump beyond your limits. That's the problem. N number of creativity techniques are there. You can select as per your own interests and capability. Important thing is you must create multiple ideas. I always relate this creativity with a mythological event, mythological story. Have you heard about Samudra Manthan? No? What is Samudra Manthan? Churning of sea, okay, by demons and gods. Because there was a time when all good things were immersed in the sea. like Lakshmi, Airavat and Amrut and all that. There is another big story, we will not. But what I liked about, when churning started, initially what came? The first thing which came out was poison. Okay, so God Shankara, Shiva has to really consume that so that to protect the earth and that whole story, look at that story like a what happens in our brain. Manthan is churning. Okay, it's exactly same. Initial ideas are mundane ideas. They are almost everybody is going to think same. Only once you give a aim that I will create 20 ideas, 30 ideas for this given problem, the ideas which are coming at a later stage, because each idea should be different and new idea. That's the challenge. It's not just a modification of my previous idea. Every idea must be a new idea. So you will realize that, okay, my thoughts are becoming more and more richer at a later stage. Initially, almost everybody comes out with the same idea. Amrut in Samudra Manthan came out at the 14th, 15th level, okay. But initially what came out was just low value, low quality thing, exactly like ideation. Even this is another very important characteristic, or I feel every designer must have attitude towards looking at the thing. One can see that this is half empty bottle, right? This is half empty bottle. One statement. Another can see there is half full bottle. So if I am thirsty, that water is going to help me to drink, satisfy my thirst. Whether it is half empty or half full. I feel the other approach, other vision is going to lead to creating new products, new innovations. Like hundreds of, this is just a story, and moral of story is sad. Okay? In Africa, some small African nation, nobody was wearing the shoes. So two salesmen were sent to check out the market potential. It's half empty approach. He says, no, you can't sell shoes there because nobody wears shoes. Other salesman said, oh my God, there is 100% opportunity because nobody wears the shoe. So, being a designer, we must really look at the positive aspect of the problem. No? Always there is a better solution available for that problem. That's market potential. You should look at, yes, there is a possibility of coming out with a better innovation. Many times we are carrying mental block with us. Mental blocks prevent you to think out of box. Na? Mental block, out of box. You must have heard this term. Na? It's used very often in management talk, and right? out of box. What is this out of box thinking? Non-conventional. Okay? Shipping industry in 50s, they were facing problem. The cost was going up. Okay? So those shipping industry people said, how to reduce cost? They tried to develop faster ships. Okay? Let's attack fuel consumption. So more economical fuel economy was tried to improve. They reduced the crew members because the crew members are to be paid salary. It's expense. Okay? But still cost kept on increasing. By making ships faster, more efficient, fuel efficient, reducing number, is not always going to give you the fantastic path breaking result. So, total out of box approach was needed. And outside consultant when was brought in, he redefined in what way might the ship industry can reduce the cost. Now, he is not looking at the ship as a loss-making thing. My first approach was very narrow. Na? I was looking at the ship as a product and trying to improve its efficiency, not overall shipping industry. Okay? And total new, these were our older ships. Okay? And I changed the whole aspect of transportation. Okay, the containerize. Advantages are many. If you are exporter, the empty container will come to your industry, your doorstep. You load the stuff inside the container. Whole container is shipped or airlifted or whatever to the port. Okay? At the port, all containers going to say maybe London or New York, they are segregated. It's easy now. Because one container which is having the all stuff going to London, all containers going to London, they are segregated at the port. When ships come, okay, ship might be going to New York via London from Bombay port. Okay, so I know how I should arrange the containers inside them. The containers which are reaching to New York must be at the bottommost level. The containers which are going to be unloaded at London, they must be at the topmost level. Just, right? It helped us to reduce the cost. Classic example of out-of-box thinking. Understanding problem and coming out with the real innovative solution is like hitting a gold mine. So, in this process of thinking, there are two things, divergent thinking and convergent thinking. Convergent, first is divergent, so problem statement, I am creating multiple answers, multiple design solutions. And convergent, I am reducing my options, I am combining my options to so this can be called as the first part is more creative, second part is more innovative. No? Innovation and creativity. Because the convergent path is going to really help you to focus and come out with one product or two products. And both abilities, both thinking processes are important, which will help you to create novelty, newness. And this only can lead or allow you to patent. Okay, the patent always ask you what is novelty, what is newness in your innovation. Asking questions. Some men see things as they are and ask, okay, this is my remote and why it is not like that? Okay, this is easy. I think of things that never were and ask why not. Written by great man, George Bernard Shaw. So if you really want to come out with the classic innovation which result into icon, you have to become that second person. Agree? The first, okay, that will result into a marginal improvement. Second will result into a total new product. I am looking at the things which are not there and say, why nobody has thought about this? Am I right? Many times asking silly questions is very important. Even that first George Bernard Shaw's approach, no? People may feel silly. No? When you are asking question why I don't have a mobile phone, 30 years ago if somebody would have asked this question, people would have laughed at. Right? Today, without mobile phone I can't survive. That's the scenario. Silly question. Edward Land and his daughter. Being a chemical engineer, he came out with a new process. Of course, today this whole chemical based photography is wiped out. Right? Today we have digital photography. But look at what Edward Land converted that silly question as a design opportunity. And he came out with the instant photography. He approached Kodak, but the Kodak people said, no, our users are ready to wait because the color processing and developing and printing, it was time consuming. Even Kodak has not responded to a digital photography that fast. They are facing real severe problem. Polaroid, whole new technology. It's like a disruptive technology. No? Today, digital photography has wiped up all this. No? Earlier, I was having the 36 frame roll, which was pretty expensive. So, I was very careful in shooting the pictures. Today, digital, so I go on shooting, then I select the best. Even there is a burst option. No? It will take 20 photographs in half a second and then you select the best. All those were never possible when we were doing the chemical based photography. hats off to this person, the Da Vinci, and the way he has really visualized his sketches. Sketchbooks are really like so much to learn from. So much informative. We have not yet understood what all his inventions. He's really born ahead of time, no? Almost like 300-400 years before, and even today we have not understood all. Da Vinci. But look at his sketches. Each sketch is so elaborate, so descriptive. Even sometimes designers don't make their sketches so elaborate and so descriptive. No? We should learn. All designers must look at the Da Vinci's sketchbook. Many people have written, tried to decipher. Still many things are to be deciphered and understood. Another thing which I liked about the GE is it is called as a patent strategy of General Electric. Very interesting strategy. So if somebody invents, he creates a brief disclosure form. Means I have to say what my patent is and how it is going to be effective and what are the benefits of this. Then everybody is invited to find ways to improve upon or break that patent. Positive as well as negative actions are welcome. Criticize my patent. It is internal, still internal. All contributor becomes co-investor, co-investor. Result is, it is industrial strength patents, which are rich, which covers almost all gamut of its application or where it can be. We are going to follow this process, okay? Once you create idea and before really finalizing that idea, you are supposed to come out with the 3 concepts. You are going to have a constructive criticism by other group. Constructive criticism. How you can improve, how it will not work. Both things are important. There are many Nobel laureates, they have said, I try to fail as early as possible. This is like it's good to fail, no? Early. If you fail early in this sailing across constructive criticism, maybe your idea is not great. You will understand at that level itself, which is Monday, okay, which will help you to correct your path. We have still 2 more weeks to go. You can go back to 0, start again. Falling early is better, so that you can improve your thoughts, design, go on iteration. It is an iterative process. So you have to keep on improving to make it perfect. And believe me, you are not going to get idea without work. Apple is not going to fall on your head, okay, because that is a coincidence, right? Coincidence, 1 in a million possibility. And if you are not seriously immersed yourself about your domain, you can't innovate the gravitational laws. Actually, Newton was trying to solve the problem why moon is in the sky and it is not falling on the earth. That was his problem. He was addressing. So that famous story, apple falling, and he related it to the moon in the sky. Those two visual images, when they were superimposed, suddenly he realized, oh, the same law governs both. And then the famous law 1, law 2, law 3. But you have to continuously think about it, and that's why I am saying, once you get attached to a particular design problem, you have to dream, you have to eat, you have to take bath with that problem. No? Whenever you are actually doing various activities in a day related to the problem which you are trying to solve, then this can happen. You are continuously trying to solve. Your right brain is always engaged with that problem which is in your hand to solve. This is another interesting story about Edison. And hats off here, look at the patents. As if he was working with a quota, no? In 10 days' time, I will have minor innovation. That's my quota. And major invention every 6 months. Please go ahead and have this quota and become another Edison. So give a quota to your mind that, by tomorrow morning I will come out with the 10 new ideas related to my domain of work. And it's possible. Hats off to Apple because they have come out with so many innovative products, no? Which change the needs of the mind, change the needs of the people who were using cell phones or many products, no? The computers and all that. And these are breakthrough products, services. Keyboards with the 1 number, A, B, C. You must have used this, right? Second number. So you keep on pressing second key 3 times to get the third letter and all that. We were using it for texting and all that. People would have laughed at this smartphone. Right? You know Steve Jobs and Jonathan Ive? Steve Jobs is no more with us, but Jonathan Ive is a chip designer. I don't know whether it happened like that, but it's a nice story, the way it is presented. Apple decided to enter into smartphone business, the phones. Before this, they were not in the phone, they were more in the computers. So AJ, Steve Jobs said, what if we made a phone with no keyboard? Jonathan is saying, why we want to do that? A good question, but if your screen is big, it can help me in many things. There is more room on the screen. What's the advantage? Bigger screen can help you in playing videos and doing mails and all that. Sounds good, good. But how do people make phone calls? Maybe voice activation. This is like a creative dialogue happening between Jonathan and Steve. That could be one way. But still, people may require to enter numbers because I want to use it as a calculator, or the new number is to be fed in. So we need number. Okay, but if whole phone is a screen, how about a virtual keyboard? Keyboard will come when you want. It will just disappear when you don't want. How could we develop that? Let's think, let's work. New vision. Whole screen is to be used for mail or the videos or okay, and screen will appear when you want. At that time, Apple was not having the technology. They acquired Fingerworks in 2005. Fingerworks was textual inputs with the touch sensitive screen. They introduced iPhone. Now today, almost all phones are 15 years ago, this would have been a laughable concept. Isn't it? Today that ABC or QWERTY keyboard, no, the BlackBerry came out with so many keys, small. Okay? It was so difficult to press, no, one single key at a time because so many tiny keys. To press the tiny key of BlackBerry, I was having a stylus type of thing, no, to press it. It was so ball pen refill. I was using the ball pen refill as an input device for the BlackBerry because those were tiny keys. It has made my life so comfortable now. Many times we ourselves kill this, our new ideas. So these are killer phrases, killer approaches. Now whenever some new idea comes, our left brain in movies, there is many times the yourself are presented into two personalities, good guy, bad guy, and right? Same thing. Left brain is too analytical, so it is saying, we have never done that, it may not work, and right brain is trying to come out with a new idea, the left brain is killing that. This is at a corporate level, so maybe manager is talking about or he is representing the corporate world. We have tried it before, too academic. All these are like a frowning or belittling others' idea. Agree? Too old-fashioned. Let's discuss something new. Let's discuss it some other time. Means it will never happen. No? We are too big or too small for that. Apple can do, but not we. Form a committee means gone. If you want to, this is typical political approach, no? Right? Let's form a committee to investigate. So never use these killer phrases or approach, okay? Because it will curtail your creativity. This particular book is my favorite on creativity and brainstorming. My favorite book because he has nicely explained the creativity process, how it should be the creativity and brainstorming, that whole thing is to be carried out and okay. And I'm almost using the same methodology for my all problem solving activities. Jaico publication has brought out the low price edition for Asian country. Just find out if it is there, okay? Because it was, when I purchased, it was some costing 400, 500 rupees. But it might be out of print also in India. The original one is available for some 2,000, 3,000 rupees or something. So let's look at the one technique. You might have heard about brainstorming. You might have used the brainstorming. But I'm trying to put the brainstorming in bit more structured way. Though brainstorming is for creating many ideas, we are expecting that there will not be any structure or strategy or anything. Okay, but the method which we are going to discuss, which is elaborated in this particular book, okay, is very helpful. So basically when you define, it is means of getting large number is important, and it is group activity and shortest possible time. 10 to 20 minutes, rigorous brainstorming is fantastic or phenomenal. You can get almost like a 50, 60, 100 ideas. And it is tiring also. It's tiring also. Because you are involved in that churning, manthan, storming. Now, most important thing is no judgment. Okay? No elaboration. No canvassing of my idea. Just throw idea. All idea, and important thing is, all ideas, good, bad, sensible, silly, must be recorded. They must be recorded. Otherwise there is a judgment. No? If I don't record an idea, it means I am saying this is silly idea. Freewheeling is important. There should not be any barrier or inhibition. Everybody should be contributing to the brainstorming. And do dream, do drift. There can be a laughter, but there should not be laughing at. No? The laughter and laughing at, they are two different things. Right? Laughing at means I am ridiculing somebody's idea. Laughter is some funny things happen and there can be laughter. That's okay. Keep a goal, like Edison, no? That 50 ideas in 10 minutes, possible. Cross-fertilize, there is no ownership. She is throwing some idea, I can twist it, I can modify that, I can minify, magnify, scamper techniques. No? improve that idea and present it as mine. Of course, there is no ownership. But I'm allowed to do piggybacking. I'm allowed to modify others' idea. So basic 5 stages: state the problem and discuss. I am designing a device for playground which is to be used by 3 kids. I'm making a statement. Okay, it should be discussed and select basic aspects and write it down. There are various basic aspects. Write it down and write it in this particular format. I like that format. In how many ways? That question itself is saying, in how many ways I can solve this? If I say solve this problem, maybe you will come out with the 1 or 2 answers. But I am in my questioning itself, the framing of the question itself, I am saying, in how many ways I can solve this? Then warm up, that helps really to break the barrier, break the inhibition, and come out with get involved in the ideation. Brainstorm, and then at the end, wildest idea. Throw some wild, come out, let's come out with the 5 more wild idea, like that. So when you are stating the problem, it should be minimal information. Don't bring drawings here. Don't ask analytical question, how much should be the height of this? That's not the brainstorming problem. So once you have problem, restate how many ways I can make it interesting, I can make it captivating, in how many ways I can make it safe, like that. When we are doing any exercise for a body, we do warming up exercise. No? Now I am using brain. So even for brain, I must do the warm-up exercise. And some simple problems can be taken up. In how many ways I can use this remote, or in how many ways I can use my mobile. So somebody can even throw ideas, silly ideas, I want to use my mobile for driving a nail, because driving a nail at that moment is more important activity. Otherwise people will say that, oh, using a mobile for driving a nail is a silly thing. But that nail, if it is going to save my life, don't you think that I should use my mobile to drive a nail? Warming up, na? The barriers must be broken. So, just imagine that tomorrow morning when you are waking up, you are just 6 inch tall. What will happen? What will happen? You are lost in the bed cover, na? They are blanket से बाहर कैसे आओगे यार? Because you are 6 inches now. Can you climb down your bed? But it is 3 times your height, yeah? Can you open your latch? Can you brush your teeth? The brush itself is longer than you, maybe. Right? It will help you to open up. And then those Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Na? Have you seen that movie? Classic imagination. Na? Making kids only 1 inch or 2 inch tall. Yeah, there are many. This basic thing is you change the dimension. Na? Even the Gulliver, na? Gulliver travel, he becomes small and he becomes too big. Both the things nicely portrayed. Most important during brainstorming is fast flow. It is like a manthan. Everybody should contribute quickly. You are not describing your idea, but it should be small 2-word, 3-word statement. No? Because when you start describing, you are actually trying to elaborate on, you are trying to develop that idea. Development happens afterwards. All ideas should be visible on the board. They should not be just recorded in notebook okay, because when you have all the lists available, somebody can piggyback second idea which came into the flow, no? And it's perfectly okay. And it should be completed with the, can we throw some wildest idea? Let's throw some 5 more ideas which are wild, which are funny, which are... Or you might have one very funny idea in the list, so you can say, okay, this is the wildest idea. Can you create 5 more wild idea based on this? Piggyback. Develop the same wild idea and come out with the 5 new ideas. Khulja Sim Sim. You know that Alibaba and Chaliso, right? And that story, Khulja Sim Sim, the cave was opening when you utter Khulja Sim Sim. Now, is it impossible today? It's voice activation, right? It is nothing but a voice activation. I will utter something and it will open. I will do the clap and the fans will go off, or the motion sensor, when I move or go inside the bathroom, all lights will be on. Simple. "54 ideas created by 3 people in 10 minutes time in my cabin." Your super senior, Mr. Besam, was working on gripping something. So, in how many ways can we grip something? That is the problem statement. He was working on the laparoscopic device, which is meant for gripping something inside the body. Number is important, and look at the statement, na? Clip, forceps, scissors. No more elaboration. Magnet and lasso and this and that. I will show you my professional work. And this is related to wildest idea. Okay, I was working on making sketch pen more interesting for one company. Okay? So, in how many ways sketch pens can be made interesting? That's my question. Because I want to make sketch pen not only for coloring and writing and all that, more interesting, so that kids will start playing with the sketch pens. written on drawing paper. So many ideas. Now these ideas, this is outcome of the brainstorming. Right? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, get some 50, 60, 100 ideas. But those are ideas, not product. Always remember the idea and a concept and a product, there is vast difference. Brainstorming will, then you have to use the selection of idea. You have to select few. So I selected pumping sketch pen. Now look at in those statement, the word came pumping, rocking, segmented, wear on. Sketch pen is my problem, so I have added all those. No? Soft sketch pen, soft, flexible. Those were the ideas which were thrown in the brainstorming. Okay? Now these are to be converted into concepts. Next stage now. Pumping sketch pen. So there is some small portion of the sketch pen which allows you to press. So advantage, same sketch pen can be used for drawing 1 mm line. If I press, it becomes 3 mm line. Possible? Because more ink flow will happen. Pumping sketch pen. Rocking sketch pen. You must have played with the rocking dolls, the girls particularly, rocking doll. Bottom is heavy. Okay? All sketch pens, when I throw them on the table, they fall horizontal. Is it very comfortable to hold? No. So this is the rocking pen. You throw it, it becomes vertical, so that I can grip and segmented. Can it be multiple segment? Black, blue, green, they are small pens. So whichever color I am using, I am bringing that segment in the front. Bending sketch pen. Bendability. Should it bend only in one plane or can it bend in 2 planes? Possible? And this will allow a total different grip. Wear on sketch pen. It's like a bracelet now. I want red color, I will just pick up and start painting in the red. Then even make a quick prototype using the available snap-ons and flexible sketch pen. Flexibility can be defined in many ways. So I use the capillary to define the flexibility. So that whole wire, the spring, is a storage of ink. So flexible. You can leave it wherever you want. No? It may be this way, it may be that way, and it can create new experience. It's like a single tube, possible. Again, allows me to have flexibility in writing. Soft, cushiony. The whole body is soft, cushiony. So it is having the self-skinning, flexible polyurethane foam. Polyurethane foam acts as a storage and outside skin protects the ink coming out, and it's very flexible thing, possible. Edward de Bono has nicely described this creativity process. And he is saying outcome must be really effective. Okay? And if it is unpredictable, it is innovation. If it is predictable, means everybody will predict so easily. But newness will not be there then. If it is unpredictable effectiveness, that's creativity. Classic definition. I believe in this. Seeing what everyone else has seen, thinking what no one else has thought, and doing because doing is a innovation. No? It becomes a tangible product. Okay? So enjoy creativity to solve almost all types of problems. It's not related to only your PD2 problem area or everything. Everything can be solved by using creativity and innovation.